years. And I mean, Summers House, I mean, it's has issues like any bar. You know, it's a
Yeah.
college bar. I mean, I don't think there was ever anything serious that I was ever worried or frightened of anything happening. But obviously on the weekends, the kids, is mostly the younger crowd would hang out there, which is fine.
Sure.
You
And
know,
that's expected,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it was just a normal, just a neighborhood college bar. That's
Sure.
kind of how I always saw it, anyways.
And so I want to
And-
assume you guys are family.
No, we're neighbors. We all live
Neighbors.
Like
Hold on,
family.
here.
Neighbors, but
So,
like
Tell
family.
me a little bit
right.
about just like the neighborhood in general. Is this something that would typically happen or no?
No, never. I mean, if anything happened like this, it would be like a through. Like, since this is a good thoroughfare for Racine, I think a lot of people go from like Illinois or wherever. But there's, I mean, you have high-speed chases along here.
Yeah,
on
street
and off.
racing a lot.
There's
you
a lot of
hear
street
it.
racing, so you'll hear like in the morning, it'll be like, especially from Racine. Sometimes they'll have high-speed chases out of Racine that come down here. Like last summer, we had a rollover, and the guy did have a gun, and they chased him through our. Remember that when they chased him through our apartment?
I think so.
And
yeah.
but I mean, it's usually outside that comes in. That's something, and it just happens
Sure.
right here.
So
But it's
when
not
you-
anything.
When you woke up to, you know, text message or emails or Facebook stuff, like what did you think as a part of this community? What'd you think?
I was surprised, but not surprised, because the way our whole climate's been going the last year. You know, my brother and I were just talking yesterday how, you know, years ago, shootings are like don't phase people much anymore unless you're right there. It's so common. You see it on the news every single day now. Look at Chicago. I think there's been 900 some shootings already this year. So you just hear it so much that it's like not even, you know, you go back to you even go back to Al Capone days.
Yeah.
You know, those, I mean, when you had the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it was like a national outrage. And those were, I think there maybe 7 were killed. And then now it's like every day
Yeah.
you have 3 or more. You have, I think it's a 3 or more is a mass shooting now. Is that what they call it?
Four or more.
4, yeah.
4 or more. So it's like, I mean, now it's just so common that it's not really, I think people are getting numbed down to it, even
Just
though
so
it's
sad.
upsetting. I mean, it is upsetting. But then when you actually see it now, I mean, I'm looking at all these orange cones. I mean, there's bullets everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a Tommy gun coming through here. You know, that's like,
Given what Kenosha's been going through, I mean, it's obviously been a year and a half of constant
Right.
big news. What's your reaction to that living here?
I don't know. It's sad. You know, it's sad. I lived in Kenosha my whole life, and I don't remember if we had I don't know what the numbers would have been like back in the I grew up in the 80s here,
Yeah.
but it's like if we had a few shootings a year, that would have been like a bad year.
Right.
Now it's every day, and now it's just you just see the trend, and I doubt it's going to get reversed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's kind of just sad to see how this goes. And the sad thing is, like even when I was in high school, you know, if you had a beef with somebody, most of the time you met after school, you went down, and you fought it out, then you were best friends again a week later.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Now it's like everyone goes right to the gun now. It's like I get kicked out of a bar, I get whatever, and the next thing you know, I gotta go get my gun and start shooting everybody. You know, it's like where do we get to that point where now guns are the answer to solve your problems? You know, I don't get it, but.
Yeah.
But that just seems a trend, and it's becoming more common. That I really think the younger generation growing up is seeing it, so they're just used to it. So unfortunately, a lot of them just kind of think that's just the go-to. That's just normal. That is what you do.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. And just like you said, the trend. It's just like, why does this have to be the trend?
Right.
You, Miss, had a little bit more of a hands-on